Just be scummy at the seminary for a little bit.
Oh my gosh, we would be the bad boys of Little League. I'm telling you now, we would beat the tar out of the other team.
I'm just gonna go out and say it. Joey Chestnut has to be on the pub.
Has to be.
More. I mean,
has to be.
Man. That was a journey.
Man, I'm gonna get real theological on y'all. I think we're all a little soft and misunderstood. I'll just be real honest.
Episode 135 of the pub and the return. Tim Farner back in action, baby. Off the pup list. He's here to return from Disney World. Glad to have you. I know you celebrated the most magical game, the most magical place, right? Detroit knocking off Green Bay.
Magical time all around. I just, I hate that Seattle spoiled the fun for us, but it was a tight game, I think, and that's kind of what at least I expected. I think Evan you may have expected the same, but it wasn't a blowout one way or the other. It kind of came down to a few possessions. Man, crazy game.
Yeah, and we're gonna get more into that on the other side of the coin. We got Fitz. Glad to have you. You've been under the weather a little bit. This is your flu game. This is the flu game for you.
Yeah, I don't know if it was the Packers' loss or other. Yeah, it's been a rough week.
Yeah, I hear it. It'll get better with the pub. It's always better with the pub. Devin, we still RIP, baby. One day we'll see you. One day. And Matt getting pissed right up watching the Beloved Charleston. I think they got their ass kicked by Man U, but he was there. He got drunk. Life's good. So I missed that we don't get drunk Matt's takes on Packers, but we'll get it later down the road. Last week, if you guys missed it, Meach came on. Detroit Lions player, phenomenal. Shotgun or sawed off, man. He was phenomenal, Tim. I hate you missed it, but you had some great questions for him, and it was an awesome interview. We had a lot of stuff. So go back, listen to 134, listen to Meach, and we talked some real stuff, some ball things beyond ball, and then his time in Detroit. And I thought it was a pretty dope interview. We need more NFL players on it. That was pretty cool.
I thought it was hilarious. He was just playing video games while we were interviewing.
Yeah, I think that has to be the new thing.
Never seen that before, but I like it. Very casual. Yeah. I like it.
I like the screams in the back of the audio.
Yeah, I was. It sparked some ideas, so we'll chat in the later about some ideas. But I liked it too. I think it was different.
We're gonna get the ball rolling on that one. That'll be after hours talk, and we'll figure it out. But look, we got a great week for you. It's playoff football. We've got dogs going back to back. Georgia just there's no sugar. Beat the shit out of TCU. There's no sugarcoating that one. And then that's all. Like we got a lot of football talk, and I can't wait to dive into it. Before we do, we got a random fact. And this one I had to go digging a little bit. And so, anybody know how pole vaulting got started?
Oh my gosh.
Can't say I do.
I feel like it could have been a gymnastic event before track.
So it was in the category of gymnastics, absolutely, when it first got Olympics, but even dating before then.
I don't know.
Militaries. The Greeks used to use this to get over enemies' walls and fortresses and maybe some marshy areas where they find some bamboo, run it through, try to jump over. And that's what they use. And people are like, man, that guy's really good at it. I bet if we can make a sport. And the guy's like, no, I'm better at it in my unit than you are. And then eventually it blossoms into Olympic sport that we see today. 1960s, 1950s, the U.S. military decides, hey, the sports thing, military thing, maybe we combine it. They create the grenade that's made to look like a baseball because baseball was taken off. They thought, hey, if we can teach them to throw it like a baseball, they'll be able to launch this thing all over the battlefield. It kind of worked. Now, the original prototype killed more U.S. soldiers in training than it did enemy soldiers, but they got the kinks worked out, and this is the same grenade we use today. Obviously, they got the kinks worked out.
Oh gosh!
In the early 1970s, they said, "Man, that football, it's taken off. There's a new company that's emerged called Nerf. I wonder if we put a bomb in a Nerf football and let them just throw a tight spiral to Soviet tanks. I bet they could blow that sucker up." So they created this thing.
No.
The Nerf football.
Is that for real?
It's for real. It's weighed 14 ounces, just like the American football is. Now, the problem with it, American footballs are evenly distributed weight. This one, obviously not. You know, it had the little tail on the end. More of it was back-centered. So you could throw a spiral, but you weren't sure where it was going. A little dangerous for a ball if you didn't know where it's throwing at. So this got my brain rattling. Like, I was just like, man, where can I go with this? So I got to know, what is an athlete that would just dominate in a battlefield? Like, we got one-on-one, like, last battle standing. You get to throw an athlete in there, and it's like anything goes, no hold bars, maybe lead the military challenge against the Predator, whatever vision you want to take this thing at. What professional athlete can lead the charge for your unit?
So if I want an athlete in the next Fortnite season.
Yeah, let's take it that way. I like it.
Okay.
Oh,
Always ask
tough.
these. I never have a good answer. Yeah.
I mean, my mind's going to decathletes right now. Just like, just kind of versatility, can do everything. Run, have longevity, strength. I don't know. The thing is, can you name a decathlete besides Bruce or Caitlin? Or
no, I can't.
I know Ashton Eaton for the U.S., but he's kind of duty. So I'm trying to think of that, like, kind of versatility. But that's a good one. I'll keep stewing on it.
And this could be any athlete, like, in their prime. Doesn't have to be a current athlete.
I don't know. It's so two people come to mind, and I don't know. Tell me what you guys think. One, Adrian Peterson. So fast, powerful, and can hit like a damn truck. Or Derrick Henry. I don't know. I don't know. Like, are we? I guess it depends on like the scenario we're in, because I feel like both of those people can really, for like a shorter duration, can do a lot of damage. But if we're talking like Evan is, you know, we need someone with some endurance, and I don't know if an NFL running back would be.
Yeah,
Derrick Henry. That's like the orc in the Battle of Helm's Deep.
Oh,
when
damn.
we're like, get the bridge, and like they see the orc running across the bridge, and there's just bow and arrow after bow and arrow, and he gets hit by one. He's like, no, and he like keeps running. Next arrow, no. It's like, that's Derrick Henry, just like a force that you're just not gonna take down.
I'm here for it. I like that. That's a good analogy. I had two school of thoughts too. I could go Dennis Rodman just promise him a night out with Carmen Electra if he makes it through the battle. And I think he can just do anything. Right?
Anything is possible.
Yeah. Or Tim, you'll appreciate it. Wasn't Bo Jackson? Just like have him like throw like someone toss some grenades and he just cracks them over the
And
Soviets
see that,
or something.
yeah, and that fits my versatile category. I was thinking of like Bo Jackson. For some reason, I thought Charles Woodson. For some reason, like he could just kind of fly around, like in his prime. He could just like he could blitz on the edge, and he could take down someone bigger than him. He could run as fast as anybody. I don't know. That guy's just kind of like, he's kind of a scary man. Like he's in a little way, like he's feisty. Like he's not a big guy, but he's just really athletic, really feisty,
just relentless.
Energy. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That might be my pick.
Yeah, what do you think about like DK Metcalf?
Yeah, that's a good one.
I don't know if he's down to get like down to the death. Like I don't know if he's down for that. If he's crazy enough, you know.
Yeah, he's not. Yeah, exactly.
That's true.
You need a screw loose.
Yeah, like Jair Alexander. That was another one.
Packers, yeah.
Just like a freaking.
Fitz is gonna have a full Packers unit.
Oh yeah, I could. Reggie White.
That'd be a good one. Listeners, watchers, let us know who you would pick to lead your military charge, or who would you play in Fortnite, and we'll post some of the best answers. Let's move on to college football, and this is something that I think we saw coming. We didn't want to believe it. We want to continue to believe in the Cinderella story of Max and TCU, of just maybe there's a chance. And they start off at 11.5-point dogs. And it's like, well, maybe they can get it done. And then the line moved to 13.5, and I was like, I'm gonna put some money on that. 2 tutties. I don't think Georgia can beat him by 2 tutties. This is Cinderella story. This is it. Clock struck midnight. That thing turned into a pumpkin. It was dead done. Get TCU out of here. I mean, this is the most lopsided bowl win I've ever seen.
Lovey just on fire.
65-7, like the most lopsided bowl game that's ever been. Georgia puts a stamp on this thing. Kirby Smart did not care. He said, "Fuck them kids." Was going for it on 4th and 4 up by 40. He said, "I'm doing it, dude." Like this is an ass kicking. There's no way around this. TCU just got blasted off the map. What's your all's thoughts when it comes to this game here?
So at the end of the game, Kirby Smart, he had like the seniors, like he took the timeout, almost like they do in basketball games. Like he took the timeout, he had the seniors kind of get their ovation, and it kind of made you think, oh yeah, he's kind of treating this like a basketball game. And I was just thinking, if this was the national championship for basketball, what would the equivalent of a 65-7 football game be for basketball? Like, because we've never seen it. Like
no. And they're all like buzzer beaters or within 2 possessions. And
it would never happen in college hoops because the playing field's that much equal. Mm-hmm. But if it was, it'd be like 110 to what, 48? That would be the equivalent.
That'd probably be equivalent, yeah.
It's just like, I don't know. It's just frustrating because like this is the national championship, and it was like the biggest blowout of the year. And like no one had fun except Georgia fans.
That's like it.
That's the only people invested in this.
I don't know if you guys saw it. There was Georgia players that were up so big, they would go awkward to the fans. The fans would give them wings, and they'd eat wings on the sideline.
Oh my god!
Not even invest in the game anymore. Like,
it's a joke.
Wow, Tim, what's your thoughts here?
I mean, if I don't know, at some point. It may not be the national championship game, but someone's going to run the score up on old Kirby. He may not be as happy as he was this week. I don't know. I mean, I get it. It's the national championship game, but that just seems a little excessive. Like, have a little class. Like, I don't know. Running the score up.
I don't blame him. It just kind of.
I mean, it reminds me of like the old like Miami, like if you don't like it, stop it. You don't want us to score, stop it. But I guess the thing I had the issue with is like it's 4th and 14, you're up by 40. You don't need to go for it. Just
Yeah.
Give your punter some love, man. Let him just kick this thing. And yeah.
Yeah, there are certain times when you pedal to the metal, and there are other times where it's like, are you freaking serious? Like, you're really doing that? And I feel like that kind of crossed some lines. But shoot, stop them. Someone stop them. And TCU didn't do anything. So it was a boring game to watch. I watched the first few possessions, and I was like, all right, I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm going to sleep because this is a
That's what
bloodbath.
everybody did.
Yeah.
Let me get your all's thoughts on this. Stetson Bennett said this. It was like, people were counting us out. They thought we were going to go 7-4. I don't think anybody thought these guys were just going to win 7 games. All the Vegas lines opened up at 11, 11.5. I think 1 or 2 dropped to 10.5. Like, no one was saying these guys are underdogs whatsoever. So for them to say we had the chip on their shoulder and that we're the underdogs this season, I think it's totally bullshit. I don't know if Kirby Smart just like Jim Jones them and put stuff in the Kool-Aid and made them believe it or what. Like, that's wild for me to think like, yep, you guys are underdogs. You have a national championship. And yeah, you lost 12 stars NFL, but you've replaced them with 5-star kids. Like, it's not, I don't know. That's just wild to me that they thought they're the underdog.
They were not the underdog.
Yeah, right? The entire season, not an underdog.
Yeah. I did think about just like coaching, is Kirby, he might be getting reamed for like going too hard, but I think that's what you have to do in this situation, because it was either Georgia is going to go back to back and they're going to win pretty handily, or TCU is going to upset. And it was almost a situation like Georgia had everything to lose, and TCU knew they were playing the upset, knew they were playing the spoil. Now, did they expect it to be 67 or 65-7? No, but TCU was probably like, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna, like, we're gonna have to play a perfect game. And for Kirby, I don't know if you saw, they leaked. I don't know if this is true, but they leaked like the first. It was like before the game speech,
the pregame speech.
Yeah, which I feel like you can get in trouble for that, but he's just giving them everything he can to say, go out there, kick their ass or whatever. And it's just kind of nuts. But I'm like, I don't know. You kind of have to do that. You have to make a statement, because if you let a team like TCU hang around, then it's a recipe for disaster. You don't want to get upset. You don't want to be overconfident. So yeah, just a very weird, matchup.
I agree. And I think the reverse locker room, like the TCU pregame speech, Tim, you might resonate with this one, but like the David versus Goliath story. And I don't know about you, anytime I heard that story, I'm like, damn, I'm in for a long fucking night, because I'm about to get my ass whooped. If they're talking about that's Goliath over there and I'm David, like this, you don't break that story out as a coach unless you know, like, we're in for a long night, boys. Maybe there's a chance, but like even coaches have sold you down the river if you hear that speech. That's from my experience, at least.
And again, football, we got to understand, it's college football. Like, that's the difference. If this was Butler versus Duke in the national championship game, Butler has a chance.
Yeah.
If this is hockey, they have a chance. If this is the World Cup and you're Morocco, there's a chance. But it's college football, and just the difference between the two teams out there. I mean, you could see it I just like Kirk Herbstreit's like, I don't know what to say. At one point he's like, I don't know what to talk about, because it's like literally all you have to say is Georgia. This is the difference between having 5- and 4-star recruits versus having like 4- and 3-star recruits. Like, you can just see it. You can just see the difference in the trenches. Is Georgia basically can do whatever they want, and TCU's just trying to find something. And I don't know. This is where I just get in debates with people about college football, is I'm just like, it sucks. Like, it is going to be the best teams. And like, when I look at this game, are teams like TCU ever going to get in the playoff again? Or is it going to be like, it's probably going to be a while before an undefeated team, or like, I mean, TCU had 1 loss. So I don't know. It just makes a conversation. Well, Bama wouldn't have lost 65-7.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot, and I think people are like, well, TCU doesn't deserve to be there. But let's rewind the clock to last week. We came back from semifinal games that were phenomenal, like some of the best games we've seen. Yeah. They were even kill. If Georgia would have played like they did last night against Ohio State, I think the score is pretty similar, 65, maybe 14. I'll give Ohio State one more touchdown or something. Like that Georgia team was just on a different level because those 4 and 5 star recruits said, "Oh shit, let's play now. Let's just go out there and do what we do." And so, like, I think anybody that says TCU doesn't deserve to be there, you're crazy. They beat Michigan, like second best team in the nation, so on and be it. Georgia already beat Bama. Okay, so be it. Like, it's not. I don't know. I hate it for TCU because I think they're gonna get ran through the mud here.
Yeah.
Tim, any closing thoughts here when we wrap up national championship?
I think we're going to see even more of these hot and cold kind of games when they expand the playoffs. I think it's just kind of expected. Like, you're going to see some real nail biters, some upsets, but just like this, you're going to see some blowouts, and it's going to be like, wow, well, it's going to be the same conversation each year. Well, if so-and-so were playing Georgia, like, would it be the same? And it's like, that's the reason there's playoffs. That's the reason why teams that don't play each other are playing each other.
Exactly.
So,
yeah, I agree. Georgia preseason #1 favorite to win the national title next year. So they're trying to go for the three-peat. They're losing or they're returning 6 starters on offense, 6 starters on defense. So
dang.
As of right now, Stetson Bennett will be graduating. He's 25. There's that joke. The last time the Chicago Bears held the #1 pick was 1947. That's when he verbally committed to Georgia the first time. So honestly, just wild to think about. He's 25 years old. He's older than 5 starting NFL quarterbacks right now, and he just won a national championship. That's wild to think about. But good for them. Good for Bulldog Nation. Uga, sorry you couldn't be in attendance. It was too far a drive for you, but hopefully he was a good boy. Got a big bone. All right. Let's talk some NFL. Let's talk about some fired coaches. Cliff Kingsbury, done in Arizona. I'm surprised, but I'm not surprised. Like, I feel 50-50 about it. Like, maybe they could have given Cliff one more season. Maybe Kyler Murray was a problem. I don't know. Obviously, we're not in the organization. We're not sure, but Cliff's gone, and he seemed like he was the dude 2 years ago. Like, people love Cliff. Like, we saw his big, like El Chapo, like, compound he had that was just beautiful in Arizona's desert. We're like, man, this guy is living the best life right now. And then obviously this season unfolds, and it hasn't been good for the past season and a half for him. Are you guys, what's your all's initial thoughts on Cliff Kingsbury being fired from the Cardinals?
I think you nailed it. I mean, remember when the Cardinals were 7-0 last year, and then they missed the playoffs, And so I think that's when that happened. It's like, all right, you're on the hot seat. And then, it's unfortunate your quarterback gets hurt, but they didn't look like they were going to do much anyway. So
even with him,
yeah. So I'm not surprised by this at all. But I think Kingsbury could have success somewhere else. Maybe not as a head coach, but he seems like a good mind. Just maybe not head coach.
Do you think he goes back down to college?
That's interesting. Yeah, I don't know.
Former Texas Tech coach. Tim?
I don't know. Yeah, it's when Kyler was getting ready to sign the extension, I can't remember when it was, but I kind of had mentioned like that's a bad idea. I feel like if they had moved on from Kyler at that time, Cliff would still be around. I really think this has a lot to do with, I mean, Murray and Cliff are intertwined. Like this, there's no way around it.
Yeah.
But I think, hindsight's 2020. I think if they had not extended Kyler, then Cliff would be around. So I don't know. I get it. Who knows? He might land a spot with like if the Broncos don't get who are they going for? Like Harbaugh
probably.
God. And then someone else. Like he definitely has some NFL experience, so I think he'll land somewhere. Maybe the Texans. I don't know. Maybe the Texans.
I could see it because that's going to lead this next one. Real quick before we jump to the Texans, Cliff was 28-37-1 as Arizona's head coach, which that surprised me. Even him going 4-13 this year, I still thought he'd have a winning record in the desert, but just based off the past season and a half before the season, I was like, oh, like he's killing it. But that did jump off to me. Let's talk about Texans. Lovie Smith. This one extremely unfair in my book. He had one season under his belt. in the NFL and he gets fired from the Texans. Lovie Smith, he's been around the game forever. He was Illinois. He brought them back to kind of contention in college football, and then he makes the jump back to NFL. And Houston's just a shit organization. I don't think any of the blame's on him. Where we intertwine Cliff and Kyler, here it's Lovey's having to rebuild the entire thing. And I don't know. I think it's extremely unfair. Obviously, we're not in the locker room. We don't know what's going on, but we've talked about it all year. There's one Lamborghini parked in that parking lot, and that's Pierce as a running back. Everybody else is just a dump truck, just terrible. And it's rough to watch the Texans, and that roster is just rough. I don't think the blame's on Lovey. I think it's unfairly just that he's fired. Like it's unfair that he got fired, I should say.
Yeah, I like Lovey too. I thought that he's in a weird situation, and they're obviously in a rebuild, and they've been in a rebuild ever since the JJ Watt, Hopkins, Deshaun, ever since all those pieces left. It's gonna take a minute to get that going. And so it's really a question, I think, of did they think Lovey can be the guy to kind of be a stable piece and kind of get the ball rolling? And obviously, like Dameon Pierce is a bright spot, and maybe you can get some other rookies in there. I mean, I'm looking at your Lions. I think that's like a perfect example of like what you want to do in a rebuild. It's like you get a face like Dan Campbell who can change a culture. You get some key players. Maybe you get like a Jared Goff type. Like you got to bring someone in, but then you got to draft well. And I think the Texans have drafted decent, but only time will tell. It's just too early to tell. I think that's where it is. And I was just like, well, I think Lovey could be the Dan Campbell. I think he could be that guy. But now they've pulled the plug. And I feel like that's a dangerous game. Is like when you go too quickly, I don't think you've allowed. Now it's not a desirable organization still, and you're probably just going to get Kingsbury, and you're just going to continue to be shit because you're not really giving anybody a chance.
Yeah. I completely agree. I'm trying to figure out who their last. They only had a head coach for one season last year too, right? I can't remember who it was. I'm trying to find the list. So
because they had Billy O'Stooge, remember, and then they got rid of him.
Yeah, David Coley was fired after one season. So okay, 2 back-to-back head coaches fired after one season.
Yeah, that's
like unless the candidate is super desperate, who is going to say, "Oh, I can take my time to establish a culture here"? Like going on your point, Evan, Sheila Ford basically told, I can't remember what the contract is. It's like a 6 or 7 year contract for Dan Campbell. It's somewhere like that. I mean, we gave Matty P 3 seasons, 2.5. So like, this is a terrible look for the Texans. Who's gonna? And I was also looking at their schedule, the Texans' schedule. There were a handful of games that were one possession. Some were blowouts, some were 2+ possessions. But I don't know. I think for a rebuild year, Lovie Smith was doing okay. But yeah, good luck next season. Because if I wanted any pressure-free scenario of building a culture, it ain't the Texans. Like, what are you expecting?
Like Houston. So I had to pull up the Houston Chronicle newspaper called it a dumpster fire.
Yeah.
They're being criticized for firing Lovey.
And if you look at their losses, they're majority within a possession.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like they're getting dog walked. It's not 65-7.
Chiefs to overtime. They lost to the Cowboys by 4 points. I mean, some of them are blowouts, but then you have like the Giants beating them by 1 possession. The Titans beating them by 1 possession. So like
Eagles 1 possession. And that's a 1 seed.
Yeah, I don't know. If I was a Texans fan, I'd be livid.
They've got draft picks. They've got 2nd overall. They've got the 12th overall pick. They've got a 33rd pick. So that's 2nd pick of the 2nd round, and just kind of continues. They got a lot of picks this year.
And
it's wild. And Tim, to go on your point, like this is the second coach to be fired after a season. Like that goes back to the McNair family that owns them. I don't know if I don't want to throw this out there, so I won't say it. But like, she just looks like a villain from like Django. I'll put it that way. And like, I don't know, like you read between the lines of what I'm saying, but like, it's just that ownership is just terrible. I don't know if it's who's their GM. I think Nick Cassiero is, or Cassiero, however you say it. Like, I don't know if it's a GM or ownership making these decisions, but no one's gonna go there that's even worth half a damn anymore after seeing that. Like they could call me right now. I'd be like, nah, like I'm gonna stay a high school coach. Like I don't want to go in that dumpster fire right now. There's no way. It's wild. I hate it for Levy. He'll bounce back.
And again, no culture. There's no culture down there.
No. JJ Watt took it with him.
Yeah.
Well, that begs the question: who's next on the hot seat? Who's left burning, and who's going to get fired? We've known Panthers need a head coach. Denver needs a head coach. Obviously, the two teams we just talked about, Cardinals and Texans, need a head coach. Is there any other team that's going to fire their coach, or anybody like maybe to get like a short leash for next season?
As dumb as it is, I think Steve Wilkes. I'm of the mindset that the Panthers need to keep him. The players have already come out and said, like, hey, we want to play for him. But Tepper is stupid enough to hire someone new. And that's a total Panthers move right now. Unfortunately, I think he's on the hot seat. Unreasonably, like he does not need to be on the hot seat. So
well, he won't be fired because he's not. He's not the coach.
He's the interim.
But he's not going to be. They're going to let him go.
He'll be passed up. Yeah.
I don't know what you call that. It's not the hot seat. I don't know. That's different.
Yeah. It's
No, you're right. You're right, Tim.
Yeah, I don't know, the rug pulled out from underneath you, like the magic non-carpet ride. I don't know, because it is bullshit. Because if the whole locker room wants you, and obviously they respond to you, and you're better than what you've been the past 2.5 years, you keep that guy. But I'm with you. I think he's an idiot. And he's gonna let him walk.
I also have a hot take. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say Wilkes is gonna interview with like all these teams. Like I think he is one of the most like if we were trying to rank Wilkes. Please stay away. But like if we're gonna rank like the most desirable coaches, I think Wilkes is at the top as far as like what teams are looking for. I mean, what he's done this year is tremendous. So if the Panthers let that go, they let that walk out, they're gonna be regretting that for the next couple decades, I think.
Right?
I agree.
Yeah, because that trade with McCaffrey, we all thought the Panthers were dead. We're like, oh yeah, they're dead. And then they kept winning games. And we were like,
I know.
What the heck?
Yeah. Culture.
Magic man.
That's what it's about. Wilkes, he brings a culture with him. I mean, that's what it's about.
Now, there were reports that Miami's coach could be on the hot seat here, which that's dumbfounding to me. But if we go off any trend of the season, if you're within your first, 3 years as a head coach, you might be on the chopping block, which is crazy to say. Hackett and Levy being gone in their first year, like that's just wild. I don't know. What is there anybody that comes to mind for you guys? Like they should watch out, even if they're in the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't think there's heat right now, but I can see the heat next year if call me crazy, Vrabel.
Yes.
So I think. And I need to start screenshotting these. I can't remember who said it, but this is the third time that the Titans have had the number 1 seed and have missed the playoffs or have like just tanked at the end. And I don't know. I know I get it. Vrabel's like an awesome coach to play for and players love him, but like what is this just going to happen every year now where they have the 1 seed and then the Jags just snag it from them? Or, I mean, at some point something's got to change, and they fired their offensive coordinator. Mm-hmm. They let the GM go halfway in the year. Like it seems like things are crumbling around Vrabel, and I don't know. I just see him next year. I think unfortunately he's going to be donezo.
Yeah, that's a good call, Tim. And he's a great coach.
Yeah.
He just hasn't had a quarterback. I think that's what they've been missing.
I think it's a clear indication because the run game's there, the passing game's there 40% of the time, but the other 60%, and they put 8 guys in the box. They can't stop. Like, you need a quarterback that can put the game in his hands. And Tanner Thrills a great role player, but he can't win you games. He can't put the ball in his hands and win you games. It's wild. And I think that OC being fired was like, Vrabel, it's you or him. So you need to go. And something to think about, Taylor Lewan, obviously Pro Bowl tackle being there. I don't know if he's coming back. I don't know. I think there's pieces that are going to be gone from that team this season. And next season, obviously, A.J. Brown got traded away. They might be looking for a rebuild, and Braves might not be there to get it done.
Yeah, another interesting fact: the Titans scored no more than 27 points this season. They didn't score any more than 27.
It's hard to win, but it's
It's
asking a lot from your defense.
Offenses nowadays are putting up 30, 31 points, and you kind of expect it. I mean, if you can't even put up 28 points all season, that's not good.
No. Especially playing, I don't mean to disrespect fans out there, but the AFC South is nothing special.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you can't hang 28, 30 points on Jags and Texans, like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's move into some playoff action. Actually, before we do, Tim.
Oh, teasers.
You put your hard hat on. You guys sawed off the shotgun, baby. And you guys just BAM! Right in the face of Packers fans. This is your moment. Enjoy it. I'm sorry the Rams did not beat the Seahawks. Because I don't know when's the last time Cincinnati and Detroit were in the playoffs together, but I was so ready for just a magical moment between us.
I mean, I mentioned it before. I think maybe a couple weeks before this, Evan and I kind of called it coming to this, but this season has been a win for me. Like, I would have loved playoffs, but I had already kind of wrote the season off after that blowout to New England, and Matty P got his revenge on the Lions. I was kind of pissed. But like,
was that the start of like Tim? Like, I'm gonna like trade in my fandom. Was that the start of it right there?
That was where I questioned.
That was rock bottom.
Yeah, I was like, why am I investing this time? And then Jamal, I know it's cheesy. It's cheesy as hell. Jamal Williams. I keep coming back to Jamal Williams. The guy just he is the Lions. If any other player is the Lions right now, it's Jamal. And I don't know. It's just a great season. I hate that we didn't make it to the playoffs, but I'm excited. I'm excited for next year, and I hadn't been able to say that for a while.
Dude, I'm so pumped for you.
Well, y'all are sneaky because you got that Rams draft pick, and the Rams did so shitty this year that y'all got the 7th pick.
Yeah.
You know, and I just saw that when I was watching the game, I was just impressed by the youth of your team. I mean, Jameson Williams hasn't seen the field all year, and it was like, whoa, he almost, he basically burned us for a touchdown. Like, I called back, and then Sewell on the offensive line, just a freaking tank. You got Hutchinson. I was just like, the Lions are getting another top 10 draft pick. They're getting another one, and I look at Minnesota. Minnesota is kind of at the top of their peak. I think that I'd be really surprised if they win the division next year. I think maybe next year, maybe the year after, but they're on their way down. They're on their way down. But I look at the Lions and I look at the Bears, who also have a lot of young guys that I think the Bears and the Lions could be on the rise. And I don't know. I was just amazed by the Lions. The future is very bright for them. And as a Packers fan, you just look at a team that probably should, talent-wise, you're like, they'll be in the playoffs. But they haven't performed like it all year. So, yeah, and I felt for you, Tim, too. I was pulling for the Rams. I just felt after watching the Lions, the Seahawks, and the Packers on Sunday, the Lions were a playoff team. They played like a team that could win a playoff game. And the Seahawks and Packers didn't,
Yeah.
And I think that was kind of frustrating.
I totally agree. And thinking about scariness, Lions have the 6th and 18th pick in next year's draft.
I hate it. I hate it. I hate it, man.
Tough.
Also, Jamal, man. Like,
Oh man.
he breaks Barry Sanders' regular season record. A few years ago, the Packers were debating, do we keep Aaron Jones or do we keep Jamal Williams? And there were some options. Like, if we keep Jamal, then maybe there's some money that we can throw at Devontae, and we can keep Devontae. And Aaron Jones, it felt like he was going to go somewhere else. But then we signed. We signed with Jones, and we said, all right, Jamal, you're gone. We'll draft AJ Dillon. And we're looking at in that game against y'all, I was just like, we might have made the wrong choice. Like, we may have been better. Not that I do think Jones is better than Williams. I do think that. But I think Williams is almost as good. He's really close and just a different running back.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just kind of like, what if we kept Jamal and then we had Devontae? And it was just, I was just jealous of those guys in the Honolulu Blue. I was just like, man, they got this awesome running back who's just a force to be reckoned with. So congrats, Tim. I hate that y'all didn't make the playoffs, but I'm proud that they are looking the best they've probably ever looked.
Thanks, man. Yeah, definitely the best they've looked in my lifetime. And I think I've been gushing over Jamal Williams since we signed him. But he so in Hard Knocks, the players talk about it, the coaches talk about it, but they mentioned that the coaches let the players, they want the players to be themselves, to show their personality, but when it's time to work, it's time to work. Jamal is that. Jamal's goofy, he's dancing pregame. He's got the best media answers you can find in a player. But he rallies the troops. He gets everyone surged up, and he's coming up on the contract. So I don't care the number you have to write the check for, Sheila Hampford. You write the damn check and you keep that guy. He's got to stay on the team. He has to.
Yeah, you open up the interrogation at the table with just a blank check and say, here you go. Because that's what I'm saying with Joe Burrow. Like, we're going to open up the checkbook and say, Joe, you write your own check. That's what we need. Seeing about the media answers, he had the ultimate, man, this is Tim, just as an athletic running back that's in the league. He was like, you guys are holding me up. I just want to go home and play Pokemon.
Yeah.
It's the ultimate, this is Tim's dude right here. This is what the Lions are, baby, and I'm here for it. I'm so happy for you too, Tim. On the flip side of that, we've got to talk about the Packers. We got to talk about, are they just packing them up? Is it time for some people to move on from the organization, whether it's Lazar, Rodgers, even Quay Walker, who's a rookie that had a bozo play and maybe cost you that game down there at the goal line. Maybe, who knows?
It wasn't just Quay, and I think this is where I was frustrated. Quay's growth this year is what made us a potential playoff team. Like, Quay Walker's development and Christian Watson were so key to this season. And that's what gives me hope moving forward. As I look at in year 2, Watson and Quay, if they can continue to be some key pieces, I think we can actually be something. And then obviously we're going to have to bring some other guys in. But yeah, anybody trying to point out Quay Walker shoving he made a dumb mistake, but Rasul Douglas also slapped the ball. Wyatt also clocked. Who was it? Was it Swift or?
Yeah, that was pretty damn dirty.
Just we just weren't there. I mean, and I don't blame the players on that. That seems to me like a coaching thing. We were not prepared for that spotlight. We just weren't ready for
that's
it.
What struck out to me was discipline. From LaFleur. I just don't think he's a very disciplined guy, because I'll show the clip here in a second of the shove and the trainer, and it's just a really dumbass play because this week we celebrated the AT so much of saving Damar Hamlin's life. And like, man, there were heroes. And now you shove him. It's unexcusable. He's an idiot, but I don't think he deserves to be cut or anything. He's young. You got to sit him down and talk to him. But LaFleur, if you watch to the end of the clip, he just says, think. You got to use your head. Like, it's not, there's no discipline there to me in my eyes. Really.
Like Wyatt got in there too.
He gives a little late shove.
Which injury was that though? That was
the Swift forearm.
Was that the forearm? Okay. Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Yeah. So
to me, it's a reflection of LaFleur.
Yeah. That I think I was reading up on this, and Quay has actually met with the athletic trainer that it happened with, and spent a lot of time talking and very apologetic and all that stuff. I get it. He's young. His frontal lobe's not fully matured. Most of these athletes aren't because they're mostly under 25. Stupid boneheaded move, especially doing it twice in 1 year. But like, it's like you said, Parker, LaFleur didn't pull him out of the game. Like, I get that he's a key asset, but like, I would think, okay, get him on the sidelines, just check him out for one play, and just hit the reset button and say, like, what are you doing? You need to, I don't know. It was a think smart, play smart. Like, to me, in combination, because that was a trifecta. You had the elbow, then you had the shove, and then you had 95 bucking up against the athletic trainer. That was a whirlwind. Yeah, it was like, whoa, you got to like nip that quick. And to me, it was almost like a, hey, we'll talk about it when you come on the sidelines later, and not like a, hey, you're out here now, sit down. I don't know. I think they need I think LaFleur needs to ratchet up. I know I'm kind of talking about it, but it kind of boils down to me for like this dichotomy of like Rodgers and LaFleur. And I think it seems like we've boiled to this point of like, something's got to give almost. But that's from the outside in. I don't know what you're thinking, Fitz. Would you like?
Well, I think I'm trying to figure out. I think Lazard's interview was interesting. Just the post game, and again, that's after a very tough loss. So I don't know how. Like, we want to look at those words and speculate, but it's like you got a microphone in a guy's face after a tough loss. It's like I don't know how rational you're going to be in that moment. But he was very frustrated with the organization. Just like, I can't wait to get out of here. And what was frustrating for me is I feel Lazard's frustration that when LaFleur came, we changed our whole offense to cater towards Rodgers being able to play in his 40s. That's basically what we just said. All right, if you are in McCarthy's system, you're gonna get hurt in your last game, and you're not gonna play when you're 40 because the extending plays and relying too heavily on the athleticism, we just can't do that. So it was trying to do this zone run scheme with the running backs and just have everything motion. And Rodgers was going to have to be kind of more precise with his throws. And so Davante Adams was a key piece for that. So losing him I think that's what made us throw less this year. And I think that's what's frustrating for Lazard is like, as a receiver, you want the ball. You want a chance to make plays. And when you're only getting targeted 3 times a game, it's frustrating. But also Lazard is the best pass blocking receiver in the NFL, or a run blocking receiver in the NFL. Like, he's down the field, like laying blocks for these guys. So I don't know. And it's frustrating because also you look at it, it's like with Lazard laying blocks and Mercedes Lewis, it's cool, but I don't know if it's effective. It's like we need Aaron Rodgers to have the opportunities to use his arm. And I feel like we haven't been giving Aaron a lot of chances to do that. What's funny is, Tim, in the first matchup with the Lions, I don't know if you remember, we didn't run the ball at all. Yeah. It's like we just abandoned the run. We were like, we're gonna pass it today. We're gonna rifle it because we've been running it all year. And what y'all do? You guys picked it off 3 times against us and made us look like fools. But I think that's the disconnect. Is like we haven't figured out like how to be an elite passing offense that the run game allows us to be balanced and allows us to keep Aaron healthy. We just haven't figured it out. And, maybe that's just, what is this? This is year 3 for LaFleur. Maybe it's just a good growing point. So I don't know. I think there's a lot of learning here, especially with some of these young guys like Quay and Watson, and even Dobbs dropping a what could have been a big play late in the game. It's learning, that you have to make big plays. You have to be composed. You can't make mistakes. But also for LaFleur, it's like, this is the first time you're missing the playoffs. And you just evaluate, we were one game from making it. And when we look at all the losses, what was causing us to not win some of these games? And we have Aaron Rodgers, who is the back-to-back MVP. And everyone wants to go, oh, Rodgers is rusty. And I'm like, I think it's bigger than Aaron Rodgers. Like, there's something in this system that just is not working right now. And sadly, I think Davante Adams, again, was a key piece to that. I think losing Adams with what we were doing in that offense, Adams was the perfect weapon. And now we've got to kind of start over. So I don't know. Just been a very long roller coaster of a season where you think you figured it out, and we never figured it out.
You kind of made the point of composure, and I think I was in the third quarter. You guys were driving it down, and Rodgers made it must have been a check down throw to, I think it was Aaron Jones, and Aaron dropped it. Aaron Jones dropped it, hit his hands, like it was just he could have caught it, but Aaron Rodgers started bitching at him, like. And I was like, I get
he's done that all year.
Yeah,
I've tried to synchronize with Aaron because he's like, damn it, or like whatever he does. Yeah,
I get it, but like outside of maybe Tom Brady, who in the postseason right now is bitching at their star running back for dropping one pass? Like, I don't know. To me, that is lack of composure. Talk about it in the huddle.
I think it's just been watching them all year. We've had so many missed opportunities, so many drops, and it just gets frustrating. And it's just that, where I'm going to defend Aaron is Aaron has high expectations of these players,
Yeah.
And like Christian Watson having a case of the drops early in the year, he had one of the best catches of the year in that Detroit game. He ended up making a huge play for us. And it's like, that's what, that's kind of the opposite of it. The opposite reaction is like that. Yeah. See, I know you're capable of doing that. The drops are inexcusable. Like that's just where I'm at in that game. Can't do it.
I get it. I mean,
yeah, go ahead, Tim.
Like that's a rookie or like a second year player. I mean, if I was Aaron Jones and he's bitching at me for one missed catch, I'm not happy.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care if you're Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to put this thing on my back at times, and like I'm not a rookie. That's I don't know. It was just weird,
tough.
and yeah.
And Jones had the fumble that killed us. We could have gone up 16-3.
Yes.
And Jones fumbled it. And he's on the sideline going, my bad. And you just feel for him because he's like, he knew he was trying to do too much. He should have gone down.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It's just a weird season for the Packers.
It's been a rough couple seasons for Rodgers. I feel like there's been a lot of like just iffiness and turmoil. Kind of going back to Tim's point, like there's been something off, and something's got to give here soon. And like, I think the composure thing is a great thing. Like, say it in the huddle, and I think that reflects coaching and what the coaching does. And if coaching doesn't have enough discipline, I've been on staffs that don't have great discipline, and players start to act a certain way, or they try to put it in their own hands and they make things worse. Like, I think that's what we see with Packers. And so let me spin it to this way. Real quick question. Who lasts longer in Green Bay, Rodgers or LaFleur? Because after this game, to me, I think LaFleur might be on the hot seat a little bit. There's just, if you don't have discipline, you can't win.
Yeah. The only thing is LaFleur, if you look at his numbers, he's like the first coach to be in conversations with Lombardi in our history. You know, that's where you just kind of can't. I think you have to hang on to LaFleur for a little bit and just see if he can adjust. I think we can adjust. I think it was just a tall task this year, and I think we made a lot of mistakes, and maybe it comes from thinking, you know, these games just get handed to us, and we're gonna find our way. And you know, we didn't go out there and take it. We didn't bite those kneecaps like another team in our division. So
right. Tim, who lasts longer, Rodgers, LaFleur, in Green Bay?
I think LaFleur does. I think if I was a Packers fan, I think it'd be time to do something with Aaron. I think he's kind of overstayed his welcome. I get that he's back-to-back MVP, but like
he's the back-to-back MVP, Tim.
Yeah, and in my opinion, you should have maybe tried to do something. I know there was speculation of him to Broncos last year and all this other stuff, but honestly, I would have rather kept Devontae. I know it's hindsight, but I would have dished Rodgers, kept Devontae, put Love in the seat. But I mean, I don't know. I give it to LaFleur. I think he'll stay.
Okay. I think both go at the same time. Just throwing out there.
After a Super Bowl,
last very long.
Yeah, after a Super Bowl in a couple of years.
Okay, just keep dreaming. Let's move into playoffs here. We got Seattle, San Francisco starting us off playoff football. Over on us at 43, the biggest spread of any playoff game this year, as right now, obviously. San Francisco 10-point favorite. Who do we take, Tim?
Yeah, give me the 49ers. This is going to be, you'll have to sign a waiver to consent viewing this.
It's going to be worse than the Natty?
Yeah, this is going to be just an abomination. Fuck them birds. Give me the 49ers. I'm pretty salty.
What's interesting, I do think the Niners will have an early out this postseason. I don't think they're going to make it to the next round, but I think they handle the Seahawks just because the Seahawks are that bad. But yeah, I'm not convinced the Niners, when you look at their opponents they've played, yes, they've looked great. But Brock Purdy, I don't know that he's had a true test yet. Obviously Purdy's been playing great, but I don't think where you're talking about Purdy, people are just Niners are going to win the Super Bowl. And it's Josh Allen, Mahomes, Brady. I mean, it's with some of these guys in here, I don't think Purdy has proved he's on that level yet. So I'd be excited to see it. But I don't think it's going to happen. But I'll take the Seahawks in this one.
No, he played against the Bucs, right? Was that his first game coming in?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. So I mean, that's a solid defense right there. But yeah, you look at Raiders, Cards, Commanders. Yeah, you're right. Now, what's interesting is December 15th, 49ers barely escaped Seattle with the win, 21-13. It was a close game, competitive. Geno Smith just set the franchise record for Seahawks. You guys forget that. Remember, they wrote him off. He ain't right back, though. Geno Smith is out to prove something. Unfortunately, he's the only one out there to prove something because I don't think Seattle has enough star power. Give me San Francisco to win. So we're all three taking San Francisco here, right?
Nope.
Okay, this is for the Pick'ems trophy, Tim. We're coming for it.
Oh, that one went over
there. Yeah. Speaking of trophies, real quick, Andrew Price, congrats. You won your asterisk fantasy football championship. I say asterisk because obviously I was in semifinals, number 1 seed, had Burrow, Chase, and Von Bell to play, and then the game got canceled. So, not saying it should be mine, Price, but there's an asterisk in my heart for it, okay? Never mind that I was down 100 points going into that game. Burrow and Chase were going to catch me up. Jags, LA Chargers, over and set 47.5. LA 1-point favorite, even though they're on the road here. Who do we take, Tim?
Oh, what's the Jags record?
Are they 9-8?
Okay, I need the Chargers to win.
Or 10-7.
I think they're 9-8. I need the Chargers to win, so I technically still beat Matt because the Lions are 9-8,
They are
And-
9-8.
and we have the tiebreaker because we beat the Jags. So give me the Chargers, just to spite Matt.
I'm actually going to take the Jaguars in this one. And it's a great matchup. You know, you got Herbert and Lawrence, 2 young QBs in their debut. I like the Jags defense just a little bit better. And I think that's why I'm taking them. So I'll take the Jags, but it's a really good game.
Yeah. You know, I was sitting here. I was like, man, do you take Air Bear or Touchdown Jesus here? Because both are in their first playoff games. Both are going to be really – it's going to be awesome. It's going to be great to watch. It's in Duval County, though. Them clowns are out. And Jacksonville's a tough place to play. I'm going to say Jacksonville, too. Sorry, Tim. I know that would lose your bet. But I just think the Jags at home a little hard to beat here. Let's move on to Sunday's action. Both those previous games being played on Saturday. Miami, Bills, Tua still not cleared. He hasn't played since mid-December here. Hopefully he never does play again. That sounds bad, but like for his safety, for his well-being, for his health. All right, I just don't want to see anything worse happen to him. Does that all right? Anyways, it sounds like a dick. Teddy Bridgewater still questionable as well. So Allen versus QB3 for Miami, 44.5 over under. Buffalo 10.5 point favorite. Sorry, that's the biggest spread we have. I forgot the half point.
Yeah, give me the Dolphins. I'm just kidding. Just kidding, guys. Whoa. Give me the Bills.
There it is.
I'm not happy about it, but they're RG3 and Tua, so he's never going to be the same.
God.
Never going to be the same. Give me the Bills.
You don't trust in Skylar Thompson? Come on, man.
Who?
Man, it sucks when you make the playoffs and then you've got to play your division opponent.
And there's a lot of those
early in the playoffs. I know, and that I'm looking at your Bengals, which we'll get to, but I'll take the Bills. And I hate they're playing a division rival, but everything you said with the quarterback situation, and also you're playing for DeMar at this point if you're the Bills. So I'll take the Bills.
Yeah, Skylar Thompson. I'm sorry, but you better get thrown to a table and hopefully no CTE along the way here, brother. Giants Vikings playing Sunday as well in the afternoon. Giants traveling to Minnesota. They're 3-point dogs. Over-runners at 48.5. Taking Justin Jefferson or Saquon.
This one's a toughie. I don't know. I mean, I feel like Evan said, I think the Vikings may have peaked a little too soon, and they're kind of treading water right now. Give me the Giants, but I don't like it.
I'm also going to take the Giants. Oh, see, now I thought I was going to be alone in this. I just like, man, the Giants pass rush. And is it Fabino? I don't know how to say his name, but
Thibodeau?
Thibodeau.
Is that how you say it? I don't know how to say his
Yeah.
names. That guy is insane. I think him and Micah Parsons are kind of on like my watch list of like moving forward with NFL. Like these are going to be like faces of the league if they're not already. They're kind of in a way just the rising stars. And I trust Danny Dimes, man. I'm back on the train, which also makes me nervous because every time I get back on the train, he lets me down.
I was like the opposite Godfather. Like every time I think I'm out, they pull me back in.
yeah, but I'll take the Giants.
Man. Yo, Thibodeau is wild. He killed a man and did snow angels right beside him as he lay dying. Just partially kidding. This is tough. I'm going to listen to Meech. Meech says Minnesota is one hell of a place to play in. The fans get into it. The skull chant. Give me the Vikings and Kirk we trust for this week. Sunday night action. AFC North rivals. Ravens, Bengals. Lamar says he'll be back for this game. Reports around the team, not so fast. He doesn't look even remotely close to being back. 43.5 is the over-under. Cincinnati 6.5-point favorite, though. One hell of a first half for Bengals defense last week. I hate playing a team back-to-back. It sucks. And I think I'll talk about it when I give my pick. Tim, what do you say?
Yeah, there's some weird stuff, like you said, Parker, going on with Lamar. I mean, who knows? It's probably not weird, but there's got to be a story with each team. So I'm hitching my wagon once again to you, Parker, and your Bengals. So I'm going Joey B for the win. Give me the Bengals.
Hope you got a big wagon. I got a big hitch.
Hey.
I'm torn on this one. I think I'm just going to take Baltimore. I want to take Cincy, but I think this game is going to give them trouble, especially if Lamar plays. I don't know, man. I trust John Harbaugh. I trust Justin Tucker. I don't know. Division matchup. You never know. So I'm going to take the Ravens.
You're true. You never know. Cincinnati has never beaten a division rival in the playoffs. We've matched up with Pittsburgh a lot and never won. RFP Palmer's ACL. But my aunt doesn't send me this champagne for no reason. This is coming out for Super Bowl Sunday after we whooped that ass in the NFC. So Cincinnati by 1.5 miles. Lamar, Taylor, don't matter. Smoking that Ravens pack Sunday night. Monday night action. Thank God I don't have the Monday night game. Like, that's what I was worried. Bengals fans were like, please give us the Monday night game. And I was like, slow our roll. We need an extra day to prepare for Buffalo or whoever. Cowboys, Bucks. Cowboys traveling, even though they have the better record. Bucks win the division, so that's why they get the bump. Over on set 45.5. Dallas 3-point favorite on the road, though.
Just out of sheer disdain, give me the Bucks.
I'm taking Brady. I don't think you can. I don't think you can count them out. And even just an early spoiler again with my Niners take. I think the Bucks make it to the NFC Championship. Oof, with Brady. So yep, taking them.
That's a hot take. It's hard to count out TB12 in playoff. Like we said 2 weeks ago, he's got to win. It's TB12. He's got ice in his veins. Buccaneers will punch their tickets to playoffs, and that's what they did. Same thing here. Has Brady ever lost in the wild card round? I don't know. I can look that up here in a second, but yeah, give me TB12. Give me Tampa Bay. I think they get it done. What's wild about our picks so far is we all have the same picks minus a matchup each, where we all went out on a limb. So either that could be really good or really bad for some of us, but we'll see. That trophy's coming home, Tim. No asterisk, baby.
Oh, it's home.
Pub Parlay ran a question, and we'll get out of here. Let's do it. Not to brag, brought home over $600 this weekend.
Hey,
Not to brag.
Did we hit?
No, we did not hit. But I hit. So
Nice.
Yeah, it was all NFL action on a Sunday morning. I was like, I could make a couple of bets, and I'm glad I did.
Nice work, man.
Thank you. You know, I gotta have my flowers sometimes. Don't win a lot, but had to have them. So let's do this thing. Any sport, any day. What do we got?
Give me college hoops. Kentucky Wildcats over number 5 Tennessee. Saturday.
Yo. UK money line. Man. Are they playing in Tennessee or Rupp Arena?
It's in Tennessee. But I do think Kentucky's pretty good.
That's tough. All right. Saturday. Tim, what do you think?
Does it have to be Saturday or can it be Sunday?
What do you got Sunday? It can't be NHL Sunday.
It cannot.
No.
Dang. Okay. All right. I like this pick
I had a feeling.
less. I like it less, but give me the Canes over the Penguins Saturday night. It's going to be a tough one. I think
I
we
like
can do
that.
it.
I like that too. We're home. We're playing New Jersey right now at home. I think last time I saw it was 1-1 and looked like we had control of most of the possession puck. So, yeah, I like that pick a lot. If you weren't going to take it, I was going to take it.
Ooh.
So. All right. We got basketball. We got hockey. I'm going to do it. I'm going to lay it on the table. If you don't like it, just tell me. Give me Jacksonville to beat LA on Saturday.
I hate it. It's like that's like the one game I would not touch this weekend.
You got some
It
balls.
was either that or
on you.
Vikings.
Oh, I just don't like wild card. Anything can happen, man.
That's right. And this is how we make our money, baby. This is how we get
All right,
paid.
dude. Follow your heart. What do you want?
Listen to your heart, baby.
taking
Listen to your heart. I'm
Jags?
taking the Jags. Taking Jags. Let's do it. Let's make some big money. I think we got 2 underdogs and a good little win there. A random question, if I got one.
Mm-mm. I got nothing.
Fits anything?
Nothing.
Okay. So just to prep Fitz for his outro here,
Yeah, because I've not.
you get 3 movies.
He already forgot.
You get 3 movies to watch for the rest of your life, and the only 3 movies you can watch. What 3 movies you watching?
I think I got mine.
Mm.
Shawshank Redemption, Field of Dreams. I'm torn on my last one. It's between Jaws and The Godfather. I think I'm gonna go with The Godfather. Those are my 3.
Wow.
I love it.
That's a good trio right there. It's hard to beat. I'm gonna go Avengers Endgame. I'm gonna go Lord of the Rings, Return of the King. And I'm gonna go Star Wars, Return of the Jedi.
Oh,
You just have like a bunch
That's
of
a
like
good list, too.
one movie.
Man, those are
out of
both
the
good lists.
trilogy.
Well, yeah, you got to get the climax of the movie.
you had to pick the best
man.
one, though.
I was gonna say Lord of the Rings trilogy, but I was like
Yeah.
thinking about Avengers and then Star Wars. You
Mhm.
just no.
Yeah. Those are good. I'm gonna catch some heat and some flack for this one, but I don't care. It's my all-time favorite movie. Man on Fire.
Oh my gosh.
Dude, I love it. I'll watch that thing every day if I have to. I love it. The Godfather Part 2. I like the second one better than the original. And then my third one, I'm gonna say Halloween. I like a good Spooktober movie in there. So
Okay.
I would not pick any of those.
good fits. It's my list, not yours.
Hey, yeah, that's right.
Tim had me
hey.
in Return of the King though.
Yeah, Return of the King was good, and so was Return of the Jedi. He's got a thing for returns.
The Return of Jafar.
Jafar goes the eye doctor 11-4.
Yeah, that's good.
All right. Hey, we'll catch you guys next week. You'll have a beautiful time and bet sports, bet it responsibly. spread some good vibes, love each other, and we'll catch you Tuesday.
Bye.
My friends, you bow to no one.
Oh my gosh.
The Aladdin quote.
We would be the bad boys of Little League. I'm telling you now. We would beat the tar out of the other team.
I'm just gonna go out and say it. Joey Chestnut has to be on the pub.
Has
Not
to be.
pub more. I mean,
Has to be.
Dramatic, man. That was a journey.
Man, I'm gonna get real theological on y'all. I think we're all a little soft and misunderstood. I'll just be real honest. Lame.
I miss Devin, guys. I miss him.
R.I.P.
Tim, do you have HBO Max?
I do not, sir. I need it.
So you need to. I was gonna say, have you seen the animated Hobbit movie from 1970?